we are also asking other schools to partner with us so that at least we can help in taking this out there. Because the students and the teachers out there may want to get this, but they don't have the means. But we are fortunate that we can be able to get to where they are. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, the Shanghai School District became the #1 district for several years in a row. And our model was schools mentoring schools. In fact, the education, the Ministry of Education that runs that district, they actually funded this, in fact, right? And that's how just with a small number of schools using the mentoring model that we're talking about right now, it allowed an entire region to thrive. And this is one of the things we're trying to do in transforming education in the Global South, is create an amazing regional model. And this is one component of it. Schools who are doing great take on, CSR, right? And mentor another school at all levels, right? Principal to principal, teachers to teachers, students to students as well, right? Mr. Jirogi, who was with us for 2 days, who was the principal of My Forces Academy, he did that too. So My Forces Academy, which is a private military academy, high school, they actually mentored a nearby public school. And it was at all these levels. The students were going back and forth to the school even, right? So that's how we can actually build momentum to really make this transforming education in the Global South a reality. So we're coming up with strategies and examples on how to do this, okay? And then we talked a lot about engaging the family, but there's other people in the community that we should be engaging as well. Faith leaders, for example. So, you know, for the upcoming Global Peace Leadership Conference, which will be on June 25th to the 27th here in Nairobi, Africa. It's an Africa-wide conference. You know, our partner is the Interreligious Council of Kenya. And we're going to be doing another event in Uganda on the 29th of June, and we're partnering with the Interreligious Council of Uganda. And in fact, in the workshop in Uganda next week, the Interreligious Council of Uganda are sending the education director from all the 6 major faith traditions in Uganda. So the education director for the Catholic Church is coming to the workshop. For the Church of Uganda, that educational director is coming. The Hindu, Muslim directors are coming, right? Because, you know, the faith leaders kind of represent a moral authority in the community, right? And they're an incredible resource, right? We need them on board, right? In fact, I'm going to be meeting the education director, Linus, from IRCK this afternoon. He was here, I think, yesterday or the day before for a few hours, right? He runs the education and health programs for IRCK. Okay. We just talked about the schools mentoring schools. All right, so I'll just be quick in this last segment, right? This is the last segment here, the last pillar. This is the pillar of community and 21st century workforce. It has 4 categories. So peace and citizenship competencies, environmental stewardship, digital technologies, and creativity and entrepreneurship, okay? So in terms of peace and citizenship competencies, you know, first and foremost, we need peaceful schools, right? There are issues in schools. There's violence going on in schools. There's school burnings going on, right? It's in the media here in Kenya even. This should not be happening. So if you create a culture, right, of character and holistic development and a transformative culture, do you think that you're going to have an issue with burning schools? I'll give you an example, right? 14 years ago, in 2010, we started a project here in Kenya after the convention in 2010 called the Character and Creativity Initiative. It was pioneered here in Kenya, right? And we had a lot of schools that were part of this. Not a single one of those schools had serious issues. There was no burning of libraries or classrooms or dormitories, right, Daniel? Not a single one, okay? No big issue of violence, nothing like that, okay? So we actually have, there was actually a national study by Kipra on those schools, right? The Secretary of Education gave the report on that. I think it was in 2013 or 2014, right? So creating peaceful schools. Sometimes there's a conflict between schools. We can sort this out. Peace clubs is another example, right? And so on. And citizenship, right? Good citizens. We need good citizens doing good things in the community and standing up and creating good communities, creating a good society that is not going to be susceptible to corruption and bribes. We need a whole new generation, right, that will not engage in corruption, right? So these are what you call virtuous citizens or citizens of character. And in fact, you know, if Kenya aspires to be what it wants to be by 2050, do you think corruption needs to be stamped out like yesterday? Corruption is a nation killer. You should write that down. Corruption is a nation killer, okay? The nation cannot thrive with corruption, and character is the antidote to corruption. And we need a new generation coming from our schools between now and 2050 that will not be tempted by bribery and corruption, right? Environmental stewardship, okay? So this is the 10th category in this area of community and 21st century workforce. So what do we mean by environmental stewardship? So we're going to be planting trees after this session, right? And there is a great effort underway in Kenya of schools planting trees. We're trying to upgrade that by doing trees of character. We're going to do that actually after this session, in fact, right? But it's more than that. So this is like we're talking about environmental stewardship is creating a safe, engaging environment at the school, right? So for example, if a window gets broken, you know, in some schools it stays broken for 3 or 4 years, right? But when I was visiting Mr. Jirogi at My Forces Academy, he told me, you know, Tony, see that window over there? I came in one day, it was broken. It was fixed that afternoon. Because that pulls down the environment. Students in Japan, in China, right? I visited these schools. They clean up the classroom, not the custodians. The students clean up the classroom. They also clean the toilets too, right? So this is like you know, exercising these muscles of looking after your environment to keep their desks neat and tidy. So environmental stewardship is looking after your immediate environment. And, you know, first and foremost, right? If you see garbage on the floor, right, as we're going for tea, somebody who has that attitude will not let the custodian pick it up. For example, this was like amazing. Yesterday, right, over in the room over there, right? You know, I poured out, you know, a cup of tea, and then Ben and I were talking, and it was kind of like a briskerous talk, so our hands were moving around, and the cup of tea, like, you know, upended and spilled all over the floor. It even got on our trousers and everything, right? So we're looking at it. And then James was there, right? And literally within 15 seconds, James was in with a mop, cleaning it up. Now, he had a custodian there as well, but the custodian was the chef was doing something else, right? He didn't tell the chef to clean it up. He grabbed the broom. This is the principal of the school. And he cleaned it up, right? So I was kind of joking with James. Do you change the tires on the bus too? Or if the engine is broken down, you know, do you go out with your toolbox? And he was telling me all kinds of stories of things he does here, right? So this, you know, this is real world stuff, right? This is amazing. It's like, take care of the problem. Don't let anyone else deal with it, okay? So it's, you know, we could go on and on about it, right? So since schools, and I think this is really fantastic, you're planting trees, let's upgrade this a little bit, right? To, let's just give it a twist that would make a huge difference. Let's actually implement it. Let's revive the Trees of Character project that was actually started here a few years ago, right, here in Kenya. So if students or teachers, let's say you're going to plant 20 saplings on a particular day, pick one of those and christen it a virtue, right, like generosity or honesty. And as that sapling is growing, that student can also, as the tree is growing, the sapling is growing, that virtue can be growing within them as well, right? So why not upgrade this to have a next, this is kind of being innovative, right? Don't you think? So the last two, creativity and entrepreneurship, right? So I just want to focus in on entrepreneurship here for a second, okay? So we're here in Africa. It has the largest youth population. The largest youth population is in the global south, but by far within the global south, the largest component of that youth population is in Africa, actually, right? And think about it for a second. As your graduates, right, which are in the millions, when you look at Africa overall, graduating every year, there's not traditional jobs waiting for them. In fact, most graduates cannot get jobs because they're not holistically developed, right? You know, in the experience of the school. So the only way out is we need to be creating more entrepreneurs and job creators. Now, when I say entrepreneur, I'm not talking about someone like Elon Musk or Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, right? They're the immediate names that come to mind. But an entrepreneur can be modest, right? It can be a hairdresser who is entrepreneurial by putting her business online, right? And she can get more clients. She can hire more hairdressers to be part of her business. It can be like this. And we're working with, Global Peace Foundation is working with a number of we're working with a beauty college here. We've actually worked with them on a business plan. The students, those students are thriving, right? Vince can tell you that whole story, right? Vince, what's the name of that school again? Vera? Yeah, Vera Beauty College. Yes. Yes, that's right, exactly. So I want to actually talk about one thought, right? And this is a project that Global Peace Foundation initiated several years ago that we're going to revive. It actually started at Mr. Jeroge's school when he was the principal of My Forces Academy. It's called Leap Hubs. So what is a Leap Hub? It's actually a converted classroom in a school that is actually redesigned as an incubator. So it has several tables with laptops. Those laptops have access to the internet. We actually got in-kind donations from Airtel on this one, right? In fact, different companies donated laptops. And we had, for the Leap Hub, it is not a general entrepreneurship school-wide project, right? But it's actually targeting those students within your school that have crazy good ideas, right? To solve a problem, but they don't have support, right? These are very, very highly motivated, very driven students who will put in the hours, right? And, you know, typically in our Leap Hubs, we had about 20 or 25 students at the most, organized in teams of 5. So this was group entrepreneurship, not individualized entrepreneurship, right? And each team, the profile of the teams was that they had you know, differentiated skills. So somebody might be good at finances, somebody was good at writing and communication, somebody was good at engineering, someone else was good at creating apps, right? And so on. And someone else was good, you know, at marketing, okay? So that was kind of the profile of the team. And then they identified a problem to solve in their community, right? And then they spend an entire year developing that idea, doing the research, who are the customers, the business plan. It was also married with moral and innovative leadership and character building, because most businesses fail, actually. 95% of new businesses fail because the first time the entrepreneur hits a challenge, they throw up their hands and give up. So that's where the moral and innovative leadership curriculum came in, that we were actually guiding the students to anticipate these challenges and not to quit, right? But to plow through them, and they did. And many of these won competitions, several of them won scholarships, like one student won a scholarship to Stanford University, and so on, okay? So we want to revive this here in Kenya. We need entrepreneurs like yesterday. And for everyone else, we want to be stimulating creativity. Not everyone is going to be an entrepreneur, but they can be creative, right? We can stimulate creativity, okay? And then the last thing is digital technologies and AI, okay? So this is actually part of the 21st century workforce. And this is not just for students. This is for the educators as well. So this is us becoming competent in digital technologies and AI, right? So most of the education conferences going on in the last year are actually on this area, okay? On digital technologies and AI. So this is a very real thing. We can't ignore it. I'd recommend you embrace it, but remember that digital technologies and AI is value neutral. It can be used for a good or a bad purpose. This is where the character and the values piece is really instrumental, right? Because it is not just digital technologies, it's exponential technologies, right? That can actually do a great good, but it can also do a great bad as well, okay? So students need to be guided on this one, okay? And that guidance and that moral guidance is almost 99 times out of 100 not there at all, okay? And then now to wrap up. So just 2 pieces to go here, 2 slides left. So I'm going to go back to the purpose of this workshop, which is transforming education in the Global South towards 2050. And the reason we're all gathered here today is that I was sharing with you over the last 3 days that you are needed. We need we need people, we need you, right, to drive this campaign. It is not just a few of us that can drive this. The task is so monumental. It's crazy big, right? So we need a lot of people driving this forward. So we're calling on you to be a partner, to be a contributor to this campaign, right? And do your piece. So there's 4 things you can do, right? First of all, master this content. So at the back of your workbook, actually in the last couple of pages, specifically, actually now that I'm talking about it, okay, let me go to it real quick. Yeah, on page, hold on a minute. Okay, on page 61, just go to page 61 of your workbook. So we have a website, a web page up here called globalpeace.org/TE 2050. That means Transforming Education 2050. There's a concept paper on there that everyone should read, and you can share that with others too. There's also the launch story as well. And we also have on-demand presentations. We have 3 of the presentations that were given in the last 2 days: the purpose of education, the case for character, and also the holistic development of people. We have those on demand, and I would encourage you to run those and master this content, okay? And on page 62 is how you can actually access that content, right? On page 62 and 63, okay? And then on page 64 is also just a summary of the website as well, okay? So go to the website and then master the content. Then here in Nairobi, here in Kenya, create regional models as a pathway to national transformation of education. Okay, so this is one of the big objectives we're trying to achieve here. And then the third one is create great schools, right? Bring your schools to a whole new level. So James, you had a great suggestion that you shared with me that you're recommending that we all do between now and phase 3. So phase 3 will be in the fall. What's that suggestion? You remember? Okay. This is to everyone.
Thank you. The suggestion I gave yesterday was after the workshop, we go back to our organizations, look at our take-homes, agree on what issues we'd like to implement, have a work plan, agree on how you're going to have them done. Then when we meet in the next one, before we start the workshop, we have some time to present what you took from this conference, what you implemented, what challenges you faced along the way, and any maybe a recommendation so that we keep informing the workshops. The drive that made me to give such a suggestion, it's because of going to workshops, and by the last day you are done with it until the next one. And if we are sure and keen to transform education, we need now to do it differently. And I like the way Engineer Ken is always talking about Ben, saying it is now, it is urgent. Thank you.
Very much, James. And then the final one is quality outreach. So I'm going to give you all a task right now, okay? So let me just ask you, like, holistically, were you kind of, did you think you learned a lot in this workshop? Do you think it's like, it's transformative? Do you think other people should know about this? So that's what I want you to do next in this upcoming week. So you should write this down. I'm giving you an assignment right now, okay? So next week, okay, I want you to actually reach out to 10 people in your network. So that can be within your own, school or region, but also you have people outside your own organization that you know, correct? They could be in other parts of Kenya. They could be in other parts of Africa. They could be in other parts of the world, correct? We all know people, right? We all have amazing networks. I want you to share about the Transforming Education in the Global South and what your experience was in this workshop, and then direct them to the concept paper, right? You go to globalpeace.org. It's in your book here. And you actually direct them to that page and ask them to read the concept paper, right? And then that's for next week. Then for all the following weeks up until the Global Peace Leadership Conference, each week I want you to reach out to, I want to ask you to reach out to 10, but maybe 3 or 4 people a week, right? You know, because we need thousands of people in this campaign to shift this monstrosity, titanic ship of the traditional education, conventional education system, right? We need a lot of people trying to actually transform that. A few people cannot do it, right? So we need to be building momentum here. And I'm going to be calling on you. You were the direct beneficiaries of this workshop. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues. And in a few weeks, I'm going to be doing this in the Philippines, right? And I was on a call with Brazil last night. We're asking them to do it. So wherever, I'm doing this all the time, right? But you are needed to help with this, okay? And I think that is basically it. So one final thing tonight, please finish the rest of the workbook. Okay, so I want you to do pages 42 to the end and do activities 15 to 20, okay? So you still have homework this afternoon, this evening. You're not off the hook at all. If you do this homework, you will actually get a lot more out of this workshop. So Don't quit at the end, right? In fact, winners speed up in the last lap. You know this, right? Winners, those who are winners, those who run races, they don't slow down in the last mile, they speed up. So let's give it our all, right, to finish this workshop successfully. This is not the end of the workshop. The end of the workshop is you complete the workbook, right, tonight. So write that down. Complete the workbook tonight, right? Okay. And so I'm giving you a lot of challenges here, right? But this is to help you to grow. So I'm doing this for your benefit, okay? All right? And then tomorrow, Sunday, what are you going to do tomorrow? What are you going to start tomorrow? The 10-week challenge, right? Have you forgotten about that already? Okay, good. So be on one of the 3 trains going north, right? The express train, the regular train, or the steam train. Don't be on that cargo train going south, going deeper into the conventional education system and your old self. Do not be on that train. If you're not on the other 3 trains, if you're not on the other if you're not on the 3 trains going north, you're automatically on the cargo train going south. Automatically, you're on that one, okay? Don't be on that train, guys, okay? Be on one of the ones going in the right direction, okay? So, you know, all this is a challenge of the workshop. Give it a go. Do your best, right? You can do the 15-minute one, the 30-minute one, or the 1-hour one, right? You know, and, you know, just really do your best, and you can do this. And actually, as you do it, you will actually be, if you do it consistently every day, 7 days a week, you'll be surprised how you will grow. I'm telling you right now, I've done a lot of these 10-week programs in the last 2 years, 2.5 years, right? It is such a great engine of growth and development. There's other things you can do too, but you know, we've designed this very intentionally to go with the design of the workshop, okay, guys? And also, the creator gave us these amazing sayings called legs, right? Let's use them. Let's use them. This is a resource. I told you the #1 resource is under your nose. Those legs are right under your nose, okay? Let's use them. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate it.
Was it amazing session? Eh? Do you think that's how we are supposed to appreciate Dr. Tony? Eh? I would like a volunteer teacher to help us appreciate Dr. Tony for this amazing content, isn't it? So we are lucky to have this content. The conversation on transforming education, we started it last year. And the government had not even done the first conference on transforming education. So we did it, and then we worked with them. Wanjiro is there. Where is Wanjiro Kesho Kenya? I saw her somewhere. We were the pioneers. And I'm happy the conversation is building momentum. And we've already started creating another one. Creating the civil, you call it something. Because I've already seen the direction.
The Civil 20.
C20. The C20. So as you're already leaving the transforming education bit, now we are going to the Civil 20. So I believe that will be the next conversation after this. So we are always lucky to get this information firsthand. So I would like a volunteer teacher to give us an appreciation, a creative way, an innovative way of appreciating Dr. Tony. Yes, thank you. Tumpigie makofi, volunteer.
Thank you so much, my colleagues. I don't know what you really want, but first of all, I want to say something about what I've seen about the great teacher in Dr. Tony. You see, when you have a teacher coming to talk to you and he talks to you from a very natural position, it means he owns that which he's telling us. If I was taught by all teachers who taught me and they embodied what I see in him, in short, we are all teachers. And as we go back, what have you learned from Dr. Tony? I think I've learned from him what I've learned from other great teachers, including the former principal of Utumishi and now Mr. James there. I don't know whether it's Dr. James. But well, if it's not, it's coming. Because I think increasingly, you don't have to be a doctor to be influential. You don't have to be a doctor to be persuasive and to send the message of learning that is needed. Dr. James, you are not straddling the world for nothing. There's something so much bigger in that head of yours. And yesterday, there was the gentleman who is missing there, who was helping us to breathe. And I realized he breathed a bit of some knowledge around your space at some point when he mentioned you were harassing him. He wouldn't sleep. He had to do 1, 2, this and that and that. And that's the hallmark of great people. When you sit around them, I don't think he will force you. You may fail to sleep like my sister could not sleep last night because you failed her to deliver a message that he initiated. I hope you're seeing the trend. He initiated a message. She already got converted. And the person who was supposed to carry the message to everybody else failed. Of course, you're not going to fail today. But Dr. James, thank you so much for what you've done to us. I don't want to start saying, can we give him 10? Because I don't think I'm the only one who has been touched. It may still be much more worthful, given that he needs energy to continue what he's doing. Sometimes if you go out there and you do something great, you are not so sure you are really great. In Africa, we say what? Nyani ajioni kundule, sindio? The others must tell him that your behind is not covered or it's covered. Sindio? You know, we have a monkey, Dr. James. Dr. Tony. We have, James and Tony. Doctor is coming. Dr. Tony. In Africa, we have something called a baboon. You may have seen it. The behind is exposed. And we always say, you don't have to know that your behind is exposed. Another person will have to tell you, well, look around, your behind is exposed. So, so there's a saying that comes from an African. Yeah. So not only a case of exposure. Sometimes you don't see how great you are, but somebody else will have to tell you, you are great. What you're doing is impactful. The bottom line is, what will the world know of you? The question is, you should ask yourself what you're doing for the world, not what the world can do to you. And I think for you, you've begun something on this transforming education in the global south. And I'm happy it's coming back from Europe in light of you, because you brought education here and you messed up the education that we had. Because what we had was worthful, but you made our Africans to believe like we had nothing. And we went ahead and borrowed everything that you came with and started making it look like what we had was useless. Now, the people who made us to throw away what we had are coming back to tell us, look here, what you had was something. I don't know whether you're getting what I'm trying to say. So it's time we go back to the roots. And of course, we blend with the current realities. I would wish if somebody else still has something to tell Dr. James, Dr. Tony. If you still have a child, if you're in Africa, maybe you could still give you a chance. You could have one called James. Somebody else, please, can add a few more comments to our Daktari. I have a great lady around here, Immaculate. I'll ask you to come and say something. Yes, you. No, baadaye, that can come. But we know Africa, we like just kurusha mikono, but can we tell the person what we feel of what he has done to us? When you see this lady, if you've ever seen ladies who are very respectful, Here comes one. All the way from Rwanda.
On what was transformative about the workshop? What did you learn? How you feel it can be impactful? Maybe along those lines would be good to finish.
Thank you, brother Rotich. Greetings to everyone. I know today is Saturday and people want to do 1, 2, 3 things. We can smell some nice conclusion from the other end. Truly grateful and humbled by the fact that some of the things we do under the table have been highlighted today. I'm sure everyone here was able to connect with the facilitator in one way or another. 3 things that I can conclude from this particular workshop. First of all, when you see people glued on their seats, it means something is happening. For us who would have scattered today, would be having 2 people alone around here. I would summarize like this, from what we have learned today, and as innovators, as teachers, as policy formulators and implementers. 1, we need to enhance, first of all, a very strong mind. This requires a lot of resilience because already in our educational environment, there's a lot of resistance. And I'm glad that you have started with the implementers who are the teachers, because that's where the problem begins. If we don't have the teachers in this particular mission, it is not going anywhere. Our CBC is not bad in any way. Those of us who went to school earlier years, it was the same thing we were learning. And perhaps we are the way we have tenacious, resilient because of what we went through. So the current CBC is not bad. It is the way it was implemented. Because if I'm not involved and I'm the one on the ground, what am I supposed to do? So, first of all, that resilient heart. We need also to have that soft heart. Because we are talking about culture, isn't it? You cannot teach a student unless you know who you are teaching. Where is this student coming from today? What was his evening like? And where do you want him to go? So many a times we tend to assume, why? Because we are just thinking of the grade. My school was the best because I had a mean of 11 or 13 out of 12. Yeah? But who are we producing when they go out there? We are always victimized by the university that we don't teach our learners values. Where are they supposed to start learning? Who is supposed to do that? Who? Does it start? We are being victimized about our disconnect, the way we implement education or we impart the knowledge and the workforce. Where does it start? And yet the same parents who are sitting here will tell us, my child cannot clean the cup, we need to outsource so that they just have free time to come to school and go back home. Where does it start? I think from today, we have learned that because you are the same parent and you are the same teacher and you are the same policy makers, you need to draw that cycle where it intercepts so that you don't stop being a parent and throw it to the teacher, and you don't stop being a teacher and throw it to Lillian, who is the policy maker. If we all work together like that, then we can transform. Because we keep on shifting the goalposts. Who is supposed to do it and who has failed? So if we form that relationship of family and beyond, then it can work. And number 3, we must have serving hands. We are not going to transform education if we are folding our hands and rotating in our chairs 360 degrees every day. We must come out of those chairs and be on the ground and serve by leading, by modeling. That is what I've got today, and I'm ready to take the chance. Thank you. And thank you, colleagues, because I would not have sat here alone to listen. Your company is awesome. And thank you, Global Peace Foundation, for always transforming us and making us better people. And that is why our schools are great, because you are great people. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Immaculate from Makini School. Tumpigie makofi. Tupigie makofi vizuri. And then Tony, one request, I'll give her 1 minute. She was the first teacher to enroll. And it's a surprise. She has requested to say something.
Thank you, Vincent. Mine is to take this opportunity to sincerely thank the Global Peace Foundation for the opportunity you have given us to transform education in the Global South. I think I attended the workshop last year, and I really got challenged because I realized I was doing badly in the 4 dimensions, very badly. So when you are told to write down the areas, I looked at the spiritual, it was going down. I looked at the physical dimension, I'm still struggling there. I looked at the cognitive and also the moral. So I shared with the staff. I also wrote down things to work on. And for sure, I'm here to report that I've seen a lot of transformation since last time. So in a matter spiritual, I said, as a family, you know, mothers are the ones who are left to pray. So I try to bring everyone on board, including the children. You have to read a verse, you have to lead in prayers. So we did it for a few weeks, and the people got tired. I'm still left alone. So that is an area I'm still going to work on. Yeah, and then on the cognitive dimension, that time I attended the conference, I was almost dropping out of my studies because I was feeling so fatigued. But when you challenged us, I said, why not? Actually, I've been talking about limitations, that I don't have time, I have a lot of work. So I'm going to purpose to push this button further. And I really purposed, and by the end of the year, I was able to see positive results. And right now, I'm unstoppable. Even yesterday, I registered for a program at Strathmore, enhancing teacher management, leadership management. Orientation was yesterday. It's supposed to be online. And my daughter was just telling me, I have a daughter who is a fourth-year engineering student at Moi. So she was just telling me, hey, Mom, I want to be like you when I grow up. Yeah, because I was able to finish 1 million teachers. I'm pursuing my PhD. So she was asking me, what will I do if you have a PhD? Now what the bar has been set too high. So I told her there is postdoctoral. So you must go higher than me. Yeah, and then now the physical, you know, as the vice principal, I walk every morning, I have to go around the school, and it is not a small school. So the 30 minutes I manage, but now after school, I need to still do something. So I think I really benefited a lot from the sessions. That is why when I got an invitation, I said I must attend. And I will always attend because every year there is something new to take away from the conference. Thank you so much. And so, James, I'm very, very grateful. You know, we've been fighting a lot with the principal. Being the head of academics, he tells me, I don't want these kids to be doing exams every now and then. Then I'm there telling me, they must do exams. So when I was told the word of curriculum, they don't do exams every day. Now I was telling my principal, nimepata shule hawafanyi mtihani. And he was laughing at me because we are always, now these kids must do exams. No, they don't have to do exams every now and then. So you see, at least now nimeona something, yes? And then the bit of greeting kids every day. Our principal, Mr. Clifford, does it faithfully every morning. So there are times he tells me, today I'm going to attend a mass.
It gets quite exciting. You can have your seats. So, Daktari, you only have 2 minutes. So this is what we do as Global Peace Foundation Kenya. When you're talking about the physical vitality, I'm going to work on mine, eh? But also I'm also kidogo na graduate na black belt, so don't joke with me, eh? But we are peaceful people. Tony always say we catch 2 seals with 1 net. We don't kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Thank you very much. So Daktari,
Sometimes. So what we're going to do is a small demonstration of martial arts. The art we're doing is called unified martial arts. So like I mentioned yesterday, it combines basic techniques for karate, judo, kung fu, aikido, grappling. So basically when you practice in this art, then you become holistic. It's actually the reflection of what we talk holistic development. So you're much better than somebody who is doing taekwondo, better than somebody who's just doing karate or judo. So you have all the fundamental basic techniques of the other martial arts. So we call it unified martial arts or the way of harmony. So he's called Junsu Oda. He's one of the students we've raised, and we're going to be demonstrating him. So we will follow the basic fundamentals. So this helps you with number 1 for the schools, because as the Tongan Mudo is recognized by the government, it's spread around the continent of Africa, but also it's around the world. So if you saw Uhuru Kenyatta being given a belt, you've seen, eh? Mmemwona wakati moja na belt, eh? So it's me who awarded him with a 8th degree black belt. So we honored him. Actually, we are the first martial arts to honor the president with a black belt degree. And Uhuru, if you go to State House, you'll see it right in front when you're entering, actually puts it in a very strategic place. So when we were trying to train him, he was telling us, hey, mazee, msiniumize, mazee, hey, make sure camera sione mali nimeanguka. Meaning, make sure the camera does not see where I drop down. Hiyo ni Sheng, yeah, in Nairobi. Okay, so we start, we start the basics. So we have basically like 7 tenets that guides this particular martial arts. Also, it's been recognized as one of the most disciplined martial arts in Kenya among all the other martial arts. So we have 7 tenets. So number 1 says, I pledge to be filial and loyal to God. 2, I pledge to be filial and respectful to our parents and our elders. 3, we say we pledge to love and care for our brothers and our sisters. And then number 4,
makes efforts to achieve unity between mind and body.
Number 5,
I pledge to overcome every difficulty by endurance. And number 6 is I pledge to fight against injustice with indomitable spirit. Then number 7 is I pledge to be courageous and bold for the cause of righteousness.
So those basically they follow a particular sequence. If you follow what we are doing here, holistic development, number 1 is aligning with the supreme, irrespective of who you call God. But we need to be aligning with the universe, connect with your God, and then connect with your parents as the next God, parents and elders. And 3, love and care for the people that surround you, brothers and sisters. Number 4, to make sincere effort through your mind to achieve unity between the mind and body. And then 5th is to overcome every difficulty to achieve that particular goal through perseverance or endurance. Number 6, we say to be bold and courageous for the cause of righteousness. So when you believe in something, you can stand up, but with decorum, with respect. You stand up for what you believe. And then number 7 is to fight against injustice with an indomitable spirit, a spirit that cannot be dominated. You can fall, wake up again, you know. Denzel Washington says you can fall 7 times, wake up 8. So it means you have a spirit that keeps on trying, what Dr. Tony Divine is telling us, you know, also going beyond limits. So we're going to start from here. So he's going to be demonstrating, I'm going to be giving the instructions, okay? So the first thing we're going to do basics, basics of Tongan Mudo. Okay, Chirat. Kembe. Baro. So that's a sign of filial respect, filial piety. Sitting stance to the punch. Double punch. 2, 3. Okay. Rising block. She jump. 1, 2, 3. Downward block. Inner farm block. Outer form block. Downward cross block. Upward cross block. Knife hand guarding block, alternate. Okay, overturn punch. Elbow strike, finish with a. Okay, she jack. Paro. Moving to left front stance with the right snap kick position. She jack. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Baksu. 1, 2, 3, 4. Baksu. Rising kick. She jack. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Baksu. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turning kick. She jack. 1 and 2. Okay. Baksu. 1, 2. Baksu. Reverse turning kick. 2. Baksu. Reverse turning kick. Paro. Okay, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Breathe in. Down. Out. Breathe in. Down. Relax. Okay. So the next thing we're doing is we call it forms. Forms is like in karate we say kata, or in the traditional language, which is Korea, is bon. Okay, so it's the first form is called the form of 4-position foundation. 4-position foundation. So basically, it follows a principle, mathematical principle, but also scientific, but also very practical, realistic aspect. So it's also, we call it Sawi Gidewi Bon. Okay, shut. Can we? Sawi Gidewi Bon. She Jek. So it follows, it has 12 movements and follows 3 stages. So we say normally life goes through 3 stages: formation, growth, and completion. So that's part 1. Part 3. So this part is circular. We follow what we call a circular motion. So we say life is very circular. Everything goes in a circular motion. It doesn't go in a straight way. So somebody talked about circular. I think the school here, isn't it? We talked about moving in a circle. They say circle creates, it's a continuous motion. So even in a house, when it's square, you lose energy. But when it's circle, you continuous. The motion is continuous. But okay, so Kajong Kyohe Wibon. This is called the form of a true home. Kajong Kyohe Wibon. Okay, so everything has a meaning. Basically, it reflects the aspect of the family. The first one represents the foundation of life. This one is like the family, the 3 stages of life. Kajong Kyohe Wibon. Aija Shi Jik. Go, do, go, he, na, he, do, go. So clap for him. So the last part now is we'll be doing application. You can hear from the back mic.
Aya, thank you very much. Tuwapigie makofi. Yeah, those are some of the things when you engage with Global Peace Foundation. Those are some of the benefits that you're able to get when you interact with us. Thank you very much, Daktari. I know there are guys from the other side when it faces like that wanasema mawe iko wapi bwana? Hii mtu iko very dangerous. You control yourself. That's why I say you need to control yourself because you don't know whom you're interacting with on the streets of Nairobi. I tell you a story, Tony. One day when I was in primary school, I had a friend of mine, Kissy guy. I didn't know this guy is lefty. He's a left-hand guy. So me, I was expecting a punch from the right-hand side. Within 1 second, my friend, I went running to my mother. Oh, this guy. So you never know whom you're interacting with on the streets. That's why self-control is very important. Okay? So now to the next one, I would like to invite you, Bwana Kioko. I know you want to make the remarks, and then we go to the certificates. From the certificates, tree planting, and then lunch, and then you can leave at your own pleasure. Thank you. Tukaribisha Bwana Kioko. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes. I was to make some remarks yesterday as the other schools were making, but I did not manage. And because of time, I want to do it very fast. I don't know, Vincent, how many minutes? 5? Yeah, I'll try to keep time. But before I start, I would like to say a few things. You see, when you are new in something, you need to know what to say and what not to say. But at least now what I had others say, I can say. So I am James Kioko, the school director of the Nairobi Ward of School Trust. This is my third school to work. I started at the Green Garden Schools in Kikuyu, where I worked for 3 years. I worked at Makini Schools for 9 years. Then I moved to Nairobi Ward of School and now this is my 8th year. And I would say the 2 schools I worked before I came here shaped me and prepared me for the role I'm doing today. There is one thing which I never associate with. You leave an institution, then you want to make it look bad. Even if you forget about everything else, remember it gave you some experience which you put in your CV to get the job you're enjoying. So as a leader, I would like us to look at it from that perspective. Number 2, if we are to transform education, we need to start with ourselves being transformed, being positive about ourselves and our places of work. There is no way you'll keep on complaining, this is school, then you also want to transform it. It is not possible. You have to start by being positive about your institution and giving it your best at the time that you are there. Because anytime negativity comes, be sure there is no transformation. Yes, then Peter, you are calling me doctor. It is good, at least because you said, I am a student. Actually, I've finished defending, collecting data for my PhD. I'll be graduating in September. Yes, so you are in spirit. Yes, so about Waldorf, there are quite a number of things which I said yesterday about the history, or the day before, about the history of the school and our philosophy. And I've realized quite a number of people don't understand much about Waldorf. So you'll allow me to talk about a few practices. And as I was telling Dr. Tony, I think this, in as far as we are talking about transforming education, this is speaking more to us as a school. Because it is affirming some of the things we may not be taking seriously, but now it is time we took them very seriously. Because if there is any promise I would like to make on behalf of the school, is that Nairobi Waldorf School is going to be part of the schools that will transform education. And we are taking that very seriously. Actually, our first meeting to discuss this will be next week on Thursday. My members, please come with your book, Everything Failed. So we have started, Bwana Tony. Yes, so that the assignment for today, I will check on your behalf. So the other thing, practices in the Nairobi Waldorf School, there is one. In the Nairobi Waldorf School, you look at Rudolf Steiner, is the philosopher behind Waldorf education. He has some quotes, he has some verses, other schools call them verses, other schools call them quotes. but for us, we call them verses. And they speak to us even before we start meetings and even as we do whatever we do. Like when we have meetings with parents, with community, this is the verse that in most cases we say. If you look at that verse, it is communicating to what Dr. Tony was training us here. If you look at the last sentence, in the whole community, the virtue of which one is? So, as we go back to transform education in our schools, let us know that we cannot transform education in our schools when everyone in that is not appreciated, when everyone is not given their part to play. Then a few other practices which we can speak to this in the next conferences, but it's good for me to mention them because they also come in hand with what we are doing in this workshop. Meet and greet. It has been mentioned here. In our school, we do it very differently. What happens is when the time for classes comes in the morning, all the students line up outside and the teachers greet them and welcome them to the class. As they do that, the teacher is connecting with the student. The teacher is able to identify this student is not okay. The teacher is able to say this child needs my support during the lesson. So you don't keep saying, wake up, wake up. No. They are able to know Kyoko will be sleeping in my lesson, so they already have a plan. They're also able to tell the students who may not have had a very good morning or a very good night. And with that connection, you are able now to deliver the lesson. At times as teachers, we don't teach the student, but we teach ourselves. But with that connection, you can be sure you'll speak to the student. Class meetings between parents and teachers. In our school, we don't do the way we do school-wide meetings. We are keen on class meetings. If it's class 4 meeting with your teachers, with your parents, and raise your issues there. Parent representatives, we have, each class has a parent representative, and we have even class walls, WhatsApp groups. And in that WhatsApp groups, we have teachers, the management is there, so issues are addressed instantly. We don't wait for teachers or parents to come the following day. If it is put on the wall, if it is pedagogical, it is addressed. If it's management, it's addressed. And it's also an avenue where if parents have issues in their classes, they bring their other parents are able to offer some guidance or even the administration. Then parent study, that was mentioned, and the leader of parent study is one of our teachers, Teacher Esther. She was speaking here yesterday. And that is where we also make parents to understand why we do what we do and also the development of the children. Then creative discipline. I think I stopped using corporal punishment when I was at McKinney. I used it for 1 year. But for 8 years, I did not. So now, here I did not find anything about corporal punishment. We do what we call creative discipline, and it is part of what we are developing here, because here we speak to the character of the child. So if a child does a mistake, what the teachers do is, do you think what you did was right? Do you think you could have done it differently? If it was to another student, if it were you, would you have felt nice? Or what do you think it is impact you to the other child? So by the time the teacher finishes engaging the child, they are not even waiting to be told to apologize. I am sorry, teacher. Then they also apologize to the other student. So values in this school are seriously taken. And actually, I was giving an example. There is a class 2 student who had a sibling in class 5. And he thought that if he takes that child who had wronged him to the class 5 one, the class 5 one will punish him. Then when he took him to the sibling, thought, he's not good to me, can you slap him? The class 5 child told him, it is not right to slap him. It is good to just ask him to tell you sorry. Those are virtues, those are values. And I'm sure most of the teachers can identify with me. We are serving a generation of children without character. And that is why this theme is on point. Character is lacking. And to an extent, I can say this as a school administrator, also parents without character. Yes, if you don't have many in your school, thank God. Especially, are we calling them the millennials? The ones with children in class 1, 2, 3, it's a disaster. But now with this training, I'm sure we are going to make it better. The other one is open communication at all levels. It is in this school where even a child in class 1 or even preschool will tell you, Mr. Kyoko, that was not nice. Yes, without missing words. That was not nice. Teacher, I don't like the way you taught today. And that works miraculously here. Because as a teacher, I'm able to connect with my student and your even parents. I'm sure there are schools where you find that most parents have their own walls where teachers are not there. Here we have class walls, which we call them the official. Parents may have their unofficial. And they raise issues on that wall as they are. And we address them candidly. And that is now what makes our community very strong. The other one is interviews for teachers and students. Here we don't do a lot of intellectual interviews. Actually, if you look at this sweater here, we are how to develop the art. What else are we developing? And what else? Yes, so Dr. Tony was challenging me now. We had the fourth one here for the, is it vitality? Then we are good to go. So Tom, take note. Then, when it comes to students, we are not very keen on what class you're coming from. We are first of all keen on your age, because our curriculum is age appropriate. We give you what is to your level. If you are 5 years, we know where you belong. If you are 10 years, we know where you belong. Then, for a teacher, for those who may want to get opportunities here when you are coming for an interview, I can give you leakage as early as now. Nobody will tell you to work out a mathematics question. Yes, so it is purely practical, how you think about it, out of the norm. So you agree, and the admission process starts. If it is not working for either party, we say then let's try another one. But one thing we have enjoyed over the period, no child comes to this school and leaves. We usually say it is the parents who leave. Then continuous teacher training, we are very big on that one. Actually, the leader of the teacher training is a teacher in our school. Bwana Patrick, yes, he is the leader of, yes. And he's not only a leader for teacher training for Kenya, it is East Africa. Yes. East Africa Association of World of Schools is the leader. So you can imagine if the leader is here, how our team is. And that is why when I call some of them here, you realize 25th you'll find them here. Coffee mornings. In our school on Thursdays morning in the current campus, we have coffee mornings, which start at around 8 until 10. So what happens during the coffee morning, you just come. It is not a must for you to be a parent even. You can even come with your friend. During that coffee morning, informal talk with other parents, informal talk with the management, with board members. And the way we do it to make sure so parents come, the school provides the beverages. Then we have a specific class for that day to bring some snacks to share. And it works very well. So one day when you find yourself in Karen, between 8 and 10, please come over on Thursday. Then if you are in Lavington on Friday, same time, just pass by. Nobody will ask you whom you are. You just go there, get a cup, do what the others are doing. Yes, and it works very well. Home visits. This is another big one for Waldorf schools. In fact, I'm sure some of us, even before I came here, did not know that. Sometimes when we see children struggle, the struggles may not be from school. So what happens? We do home visit. The class teacher visits the home. Actually, you tell the parent, they do actually a schedule. Then you go and visit the home, see how does Kyoko operate at home, what is the environment like. Then by the time is done or she's done with that home visit, they'll be able to tell this child is struggling because of A, B, C, D. Then now they get an avenue to address it with the parents. One-on-one meetings to discuss all around students. I'm sure most schools, we call them academic days. Ours, we call them one-on-one. You come and discuss everything about your child with the class teacher. Parents have to commit hours. This is another one which is a good one here. Because sometimes you may have a child in your class for a whole year and you've never even seen the parent. Yes, actually, she's saying four. She's added that. So what happens here, you have to commit that you'll be attending class meetings, you'll be attending school events, and also supporting the school. Like when we have sports days, we can have parents helping in the planning. When we have AGMs, we could have parents working on that together with teachers. And it is a way of doing what Dr. Tony was referring to as outreach. That's how we make them to also come and be part of the system. And one thing, and from experience as a teacher, if the teacher and the parent are connected, the child will always prosper because there is no vacuum. There is no gap where the child can get lost. The other one is work in teams. This school, we are very big on teamwork. And as it has been said a number of times, thank you, James, but I was happy sometimes they would remember and say, thank you, James and the team. Yes, because this can't be achieved by one person. And I would like, because it has been a good conference, it has been a good workshop, it is good to appreciate the people who are behind this planning. So before we clap for them, can I request they come over? Please do come. Patrick, call for me, everyone from Nairobi Waldorf who is here, and ensure Kamau and Alice come also. So as they come, what happens here, it is, as I was talking about how we make our decisions, we use a lot of consensus. And I'm very happy I saw from Dr. Tony's presentation, he said we don't search, but we mold. So I'm sure now as we look at our consensus from the Nairobi Waldorf School, we'll now be more into molding it as we discuss with other people. Then, Tom, we can go to the next one as we wait for them to come so that we don't. We have class socials. The way our class socials work is every term, the class will meet, the class parents, the class teachers, and the class students. They can do it in school or wherever they want. Just a very informal talk, informal meeting. They come with a potluck, they share, and that's it. Please, happier. Then end of year progress reports. We don't give reports saying you scored A, B, C, D. It is a very detailed one. On this, I would like you one of these days to just have a look at our website and see the kind of reports we do. Then, good. I think they are all here. So allow me to talk something brief about them, then I finish. In the next few minutes, I'll be done. So this is one of the team. And the leader of this, and the one who was in charge of now planning all this was not me. Patrick, was it you? Was it you? Tom? Esther? Kamau? Alice, Lorna, Goretti, Evelyn. Nobody can take ownership of this because everybody was just doing their bit. That's how we work. So at the end of this, it will, Kyoko, you organized? No. It will be, we organized a very good workshop. That is us. Patrick, as I said, is the head of our teacher training. He's also our pedagogical team chair. In most schools, I think he's the head of all the teachers. So he leads the pedagogical team. He's a teacher trainer. He's a motivational speaker on matters pedagogy. So in case you would like your teachers to be talked to and also helped in matters creativity and all that, reach out to him. We don't fear. Even if there is an offer there, he can't go. The environment here. So we are not afraid. Yes, we are not afraid. We have our human resource manager. I think he joined us this year. So if you have some HR matters you'd like to have a look at, feel free to engage him. We have CPA Tom, is our finance manager. And you know, if you are a CPA K, you're also an auditor. So if you have issues with auditing, with your budget, with financial management, feel free to engage him. Esther and Patrick, very good teacher trainers. And Esther is also our leader of parent study. So if you realize there is an issue even with mental health and a few issues with your staff, with your parents, this is the lady to go to. Kamau is our head chef in the Karen and Lavington campus. So the food you have been taking here, it is good for you to know we did not do outside catering. It was inside catering. Yes. So if you have weddings, dowry, birthdays, whatever function you have, stop going for people who will not give you quality. Here is Kamau. And then we have Alice, who is also the head of catering in our current campus. And for those two, because I would like you to continue experiencing what you experience, I'll allow them to share with you their numbers. So that in your school, if you may need such kind of they can train your cooks. Sometimes you take food and you wonder whether the person preparing was serious. But I like the detail. I like the detail our people do it. Yes, and that is not because of the conference. That is our students eat, and that is the kind of food we give them. Yes, if you want a birthday cake which is healthy, not these sugary things, these are the guys to order from. So Kamau, give out your number. Alice, give out your number. I told you, I'm not afraid. The environment here, the staff welfare, these guys can't go. And in the unlikely event they go, they will go and transform education there. I'm not worried. Say your number.
Good afternoon. I'm Joseph Michuki Kama. Phone number 0727 501 500. 0727 501 500. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Alice Akoth. My number is 0721 773 484. 0721 773 484. Thank you.
So thank you very much. For any function that I can influence in Nairobi or in Ukambani or anywhere else, these are the people who do the catering. Yes, so let us empower them. And let me tell you, as a leader, if you empower the people you work with, your work becomes so easy. If you want to compete with them, you'll die of pressure and stress. We have Lona. She's our school administrator, a very organized administrator, very detailed and very good in hospitality. We took her from Hilton Hotel, you can imagine. Yes. Then we have Goreti Som, who is our deputy school director. And what I do, she can do or even do better. Then we have Evelyn Onyango. Evelyn is a teacher. She's a kindergarten teacher, but our marketing and PR officer is on maternity leave. So we did not go out there. We saw Evelyn has the skills. So we added us some more work, which of course you know comes with some appreciation. Yes, though it was only for 3 months. So appreciate. Yes, so. Oh, but yes, this decoration here and whatever you see, apart from what we brought, apart from these things, all this was done by our kindergarten teachers led by her. Yes, and for your information, on Wednesday, it was a public holiday. We had agreed to meet. Nobody said it was a public holiday. The teachers came to do their bit, the management came to do their bit, and we are happy. Thank you very much, my team. Then there is summation of, we also have a unique thing that we do here. We teach in blocks. We teach in blocks of 3 weeks. So if you're introducing fractions in class 4, every morning for 3 weeks between 8:15 and 10, they are just doing fractions. I'm sure some of us found that in the university where you do a unit and you're done with it. Here we start as early as, because we want them to interact with the material in good time. Then from there we have running lessons, teaching through artistic activities and storytelling. As I was telling you, if you want to be a teacher, especially in the kindergarten, you should be able to sing, you should be able to storytell, and you should be creative. Practical teaching, gardening. Class 3 we do gardening. When we'll be going to plant the trees, you'll find a garden there. There are some crops which are there. Some were vested, but we have some which are not yet. That was class 3 work. And when during the presentation, we are talking about learning through doing. The students are taught how to prepare compost manure. They do the preparation and all that. They see a seed, they plant, they see how it germinates. They keep watching until it flowers, until it is ready even to harvest. So our children are aware that food does not come from the shops. It comes from the earth. Then business maths is a very good one here. When we are teaching business maths, when we are teaching loss, profit, interest, and all that, we don't go to class and say this is how loss is done. We allow the children to come and sell items in school. They sell to the teachers, they sell to the students. And if it is this water, for example, you borrow at 50 and you sell it at 40. When we come to class, we ask you, how much did you bought your water? You say, how much do you sell? Then the concept of profit or loss comes in very easily. Those children will never forget. Then after the 3 weeks block, after they are done with that, because we also want them to appreciate the society, in most cases, they now, the money they collect, they now use it to visit children's homes and all that. We even ask our parents to donate to add on to that basket. So our experiential and the learning by doing is a big one. Then building. If you go to Lavington, Teacher Esther with our class 3, the workshop we use there for woodwork was done by students. Yes, they did that work. The school where we came from, Miotoni Road, that's where we were for some time. If you happen to pass there, there is a gate. That gate was also done by class 3 of a certain year. In the same school, Lavington, if you happen to be there, there is an animal house. That was also done by a class. In the next workshop, if you happen to come here, you'll find a structure somewhere there called a gazebo. It will be done by the class 3 for this year. So those are the things that we are very keen on. Music, I'm sure that one is good. Then great places to school. We were position 1 in career development and workforce readiness. Last year we were number 2. This year we were number 1. I don't know where we are heading to, but there'll be another category up there. The only thing that I would also want to speak to that, I'm happy that great places to school are able to see this, because as I mentioned, even without knowing what the outcome of this workshop would be, our students, the graduates who come from model schools are very great, even when they go out there. And I wanted to mention some some entrepreneurs in the world who went through Waldorf schools. Yes, I don't want to tell you some of them, but go and find out. Some very serious people who went through Waldorf education. So we were position 1 in career development and workforce readiness, and we were position 2 in global competence. And we are keen to continue participating in this. Those schools who won in the categories of climate action, moral and innovative leadership, keep watching. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's appreciate Bwana James and also the team. So tuwapigie makofi bana. Where is Daystar University? Dr. Yuya is there. She's sitting at the back. Regis, would like to come to Regis. Regis Runda. Please stand. So we have those three. So we are spoiled for choice. So they'll have to, we'll be able to vet and see who, all of them are ready to host it. So we'll have an engagement and see when are we going to host the phase 3 of the Transforming Education in the Global South towards 2050. Situwapigie makofi. Thank you very much. So I'll request Lynn Odur, you just go around, take their details and contact so that we can be able to have a follow-up engagement with them. And now to the last bit. To the last bit and to the final exciting bit. Kindly write the following. Kindly write the following. It's always good to have the pre and post, right? So you write this and then you'll be able to respond in the group because we'll not be able to answer it here. So number one, what worked best for this workshop? What worked best? So I'd like to see that in the group. What really worked best? What did you like about this particular workshop? Na msinichoche, nataka kuona tuna engage. Niliwaambia mtume ma human stories lakini nimeona tu wase wachache wametuma. But I know you will still send. Si ndio? And then for Immaculate, I'm sorry. An honorable man apologizes when it is still honorable to do so. So, Claire, I have two Claire. Actually, she wanted, but I sent to her. How many times?
Twice.
Twice. Man, you see sometimes. Claire, I'm sorry. You send me, please send me this. I sent to her. And then you reminded me again, please send me the link. I sent to her again. I'm sorry, but this time I got it right in the morning, right? So at least now we'll be able to engage. That's why when you're on WhatsApp, please put your face, a photo, so that I can be able to know. So question 1, what worked best? Question 2, what challenges did you experience in this particular workshop, right? So please just give 2 comments. 2 comments. 2 comments, Omer. How many comments? The punchline one. Unaanza kufanya mtihani unaanza na the strong points. And then number 3, how can we make it better? How can we make it better? What worked best? What worked best? What challenges did you experience? How can we make it better? 2 points each. Sawa. So, situjipigie makofi. And that please respond today. They say strike the iron when it is still hot. Sindio? And then don't forget the best practices. The human stories. You put your photo there and something, and then you write something. Sindio? About what the key points that you are able to capture. And then to the most exciting part. DJ, situchome na waya basi. Tunataka kuenda sasa kwa certificate of your participation. But before that, I would like to invite, where is Maureen? Maureen Kemunto, please come. Please come. So in the spirit of Nairobi Waldorf School, so please, the Global Peace Foundation Kenya team, Faith, Lynn, please come, all of you. Kindly come on stage, all of you. Kindly come on stage. Where is Judesi? Where is Willis? Where is, if you are working for the Global Peace Foundation Kenya, kindly come on stage. Sindio? Please move forward. Tuwapigie makofi wakikuja. Yes, mnaweza panda gorofa, juu ya gorofa. Red carpet, Omera, don't joke. Please move forward. Where is Calvin? Where is the other person? I believe all of us are here. And our team lead, Dr. Kech, is also here, really helping us in all this. Let's acknowledge the presence of Teddy Warrior, son of the Nile. Please wave. Yeah, Teddy is here. Teddy is ni mse wa nguvu. Haya, so for the Global Peace Foundation, tuwapigie makofi. Haya, we have Jafeth Ouda. Jafeth Ouda in charge of our environment program. Makofi kwake. And then we have the lady behind all this. I always like style, leading from behind. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Maureen Kemunto. I'm the Education Program Manager. I'm so happy to host you here with the leadership of James. Thank you so much, and we look forward to having you in the future events.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. In just spirit, just introduce yourself and the program that you run.
Good afternoon. My name is Lino Dur. I'm the programs assistant at Global Peace Foundation Kenya. And I'd like to thank the Nairobi Wildlife Trust for hosting us. And we look forward to the next workshop. Thank you all for attending.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Faith Beryl. I'm the Assistant Youth Program Manager at Global Peace Foundation, and it's nice to have met all of you during this 3-day event. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Willis. I'm Associate Program Assistant to the Environment. Pleasure knowing you and pleasure for your attendance.
Good afternoon. My name is Calvin Jodisi. I assist also with the education program. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Natalie Otieno. I assist Vincent in resource mobilization. Thank you.
Aya, tuwapigie makofi. So this is the great team behind all this. So all of us, just as in the spirit of James, we always work as a team, isn't it? So kuna Faith was in charge of registration, Natalie, resource mobilization, Jodesi, planning and organizing everything that ensure everything moves in shape. And then Willis is actually doing the reporting and documentation. And then we have Lynn, who was also in charge of sending of the letters, follow-up, also supporting the resource mobilization. Maureen, sisi tunakuanga wale wasi. Anytime, call us. We'll always be available, ensuring that everything runs seamlessly. And then we have Mr. Ouda, actually the gentleman who was practicing the Tongel Mundo, the circular motion. That was his son there. So the apple does not fall far from the tree. Tuwapigie makofi. Aya, asanteni sana. So now we want to go to the next phase, but we are under our leadership. Daniel Juma. Daniel kindly stand. Daniel is the kind of a boss, yani you never feel his presence. Then things are moving. You never, yani unaonanga wale wadosi wanaingianga hivi unasikia, una freeze. DJ manzi, si tunakuanga tu tunakurespect. So things move. Tuambia, he'll call us, where are the plans? Where have you moved with this? We are the ones who feed him. So please say something, Daniel.
Thank you. Mine is to really thank the team. I don't consider myself a boss, but I'm just a team leader and maybe first among equals. And I'm really proud that they're able to pull this. And I look forward to further collaboration. I want to thank Waldorf. I want to thank all the great schools here that we can be able to sit and learn together. So I'm also learning a lot from Tony, and I'm learning from Waldorf, learning from each and every one of you. And I hope that together we can create this model that we are talking about. Yeah, I just want to also just say that if you heard Tony yesterday speak about a long time, people used to smoke in aeroplanes. But nowadays we don't have it, right? How did it stop? It's because some people decided that it's going to stop, and it did. In this country, there were days when Kipanda Matatu, people were standing in Matatus and there were no seatbelts. Do you remember those days? But we don't have it anymore. Michuki laws came and did away with that. If those could happen, don't you think we can actually start transforming education? We can make it happen. It's just us to decide. If we decide to do it, it's going to happen. So I thank you so much, and I look forward to doing this together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's appreciate Daniel and also to Dr. Tony. Dr. Tony always tells us you need to overcome limiting belief. You'll never go to Tony and say this is impossible. He'll not accept that. So Tony, kindly stand. We want to celebrate you. Yes, let's appreciate him. And with all let's give him a standing ovation. Standing ovation. Yeah, so let's appreciate Dr. Tony. So thank you very much, Dr. Tony, for the information. We can kindly have your seats. So, Tony, we appreciate you. You know, some of these information, they start from there. So before they come this side, like the transforming education, I don't know how you got wind of that, but we started it first. Now today you mentioned another one. So I know we'll always set the pace and others follow. So we set the standards and lead the nation at the same time in terms of education transformation. And then to all of you, tujipigie makofi. Celebrate yourself, eh? Celebrate yourself. Please celebrate yourself. You wanted to, yeah, you wanted to say something. Yeah, okay.
I've been reminded two things I've not said. One, also as a school to continue keeping our community together. In first term, we usually have a town hall meeting. Second term, we also have another town hall meeting. And that time, we have the AGM with the parents. So we keep them part of the school as much as possible. Number two, to also make sure that we don't have whatever is taught in school diluted at home. We also have nanny workshops. So the nannies come to school, they are trained by our teachers how to deal with the children. Because we don't want nannies pinching children at home and we don't do it in school. So if you have a nanny and you would like to experience that, you're also welcome to bring them so that we can also train them. And finally, as you work, give it your best. When I left Makini, I was replaced by my wife.
Omera, hiyo ni kali juu, eh? So those who have not married, my friend, piga hesabu, sawa? Eh? Unachora, sawa sawa. So thank you, Bwana Kioko. So we want to move to the next.